Hey, enough already ah. Wait. Why you drink so much ah? You know this is beer, this is not water, you know. You drink beer like water ah. That's why you got this much, you know. You know what? Damn you. So
Hey! Hi, Tati!
Hey, hi, I'm you.
Can I borrow your phone?
I give them my phone. You didn't bring your phone?
Hey! Give me your phone!
No, I didn't bring my phone.
So now we're going to talk about young sex offenders. Young sex offenders is basically young people at the age of 6 to 17 years old that sexually offend other children. So next we're going to talk about the cycles of abuse. So when we talk about cycles of abuse, it definitely means that when A started abusing B, then B will start abusing others as well, so the cycle will continue. So to explain this cycles of abuse, there are two possible mechanisms. So first is generalized pathology and next is isomorphism. So for generalized pathology, it's more generalized. It means that when you are abused either physically, emotionally or mentally, you will heighten the risk to be a violent delinquent, sexual delinquent, or even like build up any personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, any kind of disorder. So you are generalized to have a lot of problems in the future. For isomorphism, so it is more specific. So when you were young, if you were physically abused, then you are more likely to be a violent delinquent in the future. If you are sexually abused when you were young, you are more likely to be a sexual delinquent in the future. So that is the difference. Generalized pathology is more generalized and isomorphism is more specific. So when we talk about cycles of abuse, just now we talked about mechanism, now we're going to talk about the models that helps us explain the cycles of abuse. So first is the social learning theory. So this is when young children, when they look at their parents who abuses their children, they will learn that behavior. So in the future when they become a parent, they will abuse their children. So that's how the cycles continues. The second is attachment theory. So attachment theory is a child will develop a very insecure attachment from their parents when they get abused, and that will result in them resisting any reunions in the future with their parents. So they will try to go against their parents. So that is attachment theory. So the third model is deficient social information processing. This is when physically abused children tend to attribute hostile intentions toward others who react violently. So that is the third model.
In childhood, we can see that this kind of children, they're really hard to follow the rules, and they find it, sometimes they might make a distraction for not only animals but also in the property. In adulthood, it is called as antisocial behavior, which means that they don't feel the feelings of right or wrong when they're doing something that is illegal. So we will look into the factor that contribute to this, these children to behave like this. The first factor that contribute when the children with antisocial behavior is the convicted parents, means that their parents also commit the same crime. So when they see this as their role model, and they feel that it's okay to be for them to act like that, and also they feel that sometimes they receive the stigma from the other from the social that give a bad impact on them. The second is the early school leaving. When they didn't go to the school, they didn't receive the knowledge on how to behave good, what is right, what is wrong, and that's why sometimes because of this, they're more surrounded with people also like that, like their peers, and they tend to follow without think rationally what is the best, what should they be.
Kohlberg's model of moral development explanation explained that delinquents tend to reason at lower levels than non-delinquents, means that they delay in moral reasoning development. This leads them to commit crimes. So, we will explain into 3 levels. For pre-conventional level, means that morality driven by external rewards and punishments. And for stage 2, rule following and avoidance of punishments, means that child obeys authority to avoid being punished. For conventional level, at stage 3, they obtaining social approval and good relations with other people. And for stage 4, authority and social order orientations. This means that one performs his own duty with respect to authority and maintains social order. The last level is the post-conventional level. At stage 5, social contractual orientations. And for stage 6 is the conscience of principle orientations. These individuals understand that every individuals are equal autonomous person, and the principles that guide them can be used at all time at any given situation. So if we go through the Kohlberg's theory, means that the person who delay in this development tend to act in antisocial behavior, which leads them to become juvenile delinquency.
Hi, I will explain about one of the risk factors that contribute to delinquency, which is bullying. Firstly, there are few types of bullying. For example, like physical bullying, in which we use a physical action to control over others. For example, like we try to kicking others or slapping or punching others. Second, we have verbal bullying, in which we use a word or a statement to harm others. The third one is the relational aggression, or we can say as emotional bullying, in which we try to exclude someone from a society or a group, maybe by spreading a false rumors about them or try to manipulate a situation. And the fourth one is the cyberbullying, in which we use internet or smartphone to harass or to embarrass someone. Next, I will explain about the factors that cause bullying to happen. The first factor is the bullies need to get attention because they feel lonely. And the second factor is the bullies need to keep control over others. And the third factor is because of a trauma or a negative emotions that is experienced by a person. And when a person they experience a negative emotions or a negative trauma, they choose to use a negative behavior. For example, like bullying others to relieve their stress. And this statement is supported by a theory, which is the GST theory, the general strain theory. And in this theory, it stated that when a person they experience a negative trauma or negative emotions, they are pushed towards the delinquency, which means they have a higher tendency to commit a crime.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now I will talk about the intervention to reduce juvenile delinquency. Okay, the first step is from the family perspective, which counselors can take action to do some family counseling for the family, and also maybe parents can supervise their children of what they are doing from like going to school until they came home, what they did, and supervise everything that they do during the day. And for the next one is from the community perspective. Maybe community can do some early childhood intervention program, like showing them or give them awareness on what is delinquency. And also the third one is from the school itself. Maybe can do some individual counseling or individual school counseling for the kids and the children that are involved in this delinquency act.